Hi, this is John J. I need to pull this drum. I just took it down off the shelf. It's up on 3 straps all around. You can put it up on 4 straps, but if you put it up on 4 straps it's difficult. It takes a lot of tension and you're more likely to break the lashing when you try to do that. So if you're going to be a tabla player for any length of time, you need to know how to pull the drum. I've got to pull this drum. I'll try and show you best I can how to do it. I've got half of this 1 hour tape or less left, so I'm going to have to be quick. So here's the drum, still dusty. Right, I'll zoom down, see if I can get more of the action, take me out of it so you just see the action. Okay, here we go. I'm not too confident with this lashing. It's quite thin and dry, so got to be careful. Sometimes you get it thicker and I feel more confident. So when you're pulling, you've got to be very careful the way you pull. You've got to have a lot of strength and pull it, but you've got to know your limit in case you break this. Alright, so I'm going to take, first of all, there's a few tools like pliers. That's a knife to get the string out if there's one in the head. Another pliers of sorts. Just a simple screwdriver, straight. A hammer, of course, and oh yeah, I've got a knife. Okay, first thing to do is take the pegs out. If you want to put the pegs back in, if you're that kind of way minded, if you have to stick to these little rituals, just take note of where they came out and put them back in the same way. Sometimes with drums the tension needs a bit more, so a thicker kind of block's better in a certain place than the other. Okay, there's it, the pegs are out. This is the surplus of the lashing. Right, it's important you note that at the bottom of the drum, focus, here's the first knot where it starts. Oh sorry, that's the end one. On this drum the lashing goes anti-clockwise. In India a lot they do it clockwise. Well, I've probably done this one myself. I just tend to go anti-clockwise. So my knot starts here and the lashing goes round, round this way to here, and that's the end knot. First knot there, that goes all the way around and finishes there. It's not good to have a tabla that's got a piece of broken lashing. You can repair them, just tie a knot any way you can if you can, but it gets difficult. Alright, so it's important that first knot there is the first and the last. Depends how your, like I say, your drum is lashed. If you see that a drum is lashed over like a figure 8, over and under, over and loop under, not over, straight down, straight through and round like a 0. It's an 8. You got that? Very important. It's an 8, over, 8, over, 8, not 0. That's how a drum should be done. If it's not done that way, you're lacking in tension. You're going to be lacking in tension all the time. So anyway, these are important things to know. So your first, every peg takes 4 pieces of lashing, right? And with the first knot being there, this is the first 4, right? Then you've got the opposite 4 to that, 2, 4, 6, 8 here. That's, say, for want of better terminology, north, south, yeah, west and east here, east and west, right? So you've got to get these things symmetrically and the other 4 in between. Anyway, I'll carry on. Right. So, first see if there's any string in the kinar here. Be careful how you put the knife in. Right, I've got string in here. There it is. I've taken that out. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take where I said from the first knot here, the first 4, right? And of each 4, that's the first 4 here, right? Whichever way. It's really hard this to do. There's the first 4. You pull this one here, the one that loops down. That's, for me, this is the second in from the left. Pull that first, and then the second in from the right. Yeah, obviously. So pull that. So here goes. Get my feet on the drum. Hang on. Right. Just zoom out a bit. Hang on. Right, just zoomed out a bit there to get it all in. Okay, so here's the first 4. I'm going to take the second one in. Now, from the right, left, that's for me. If your drum's lashed that way, you can tell by the knots. The other way, which is clockwise, do the opposite. But anyway, the middle ones of the first 4, I'm going to pull now, pull, and pull. Yeah, that's the middle 2 of the 4 straps. I'm going to go to the opposite end, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and I'm going to do exactly the same opposite. Pull the first middle 2, that's the one that loops over at the top of the 8, and then the second one in again, right? Maybe the third. Yeah. Now I'm going to go, if that was north, and I've just pulled north and south, I'm going to go over here to the west, 2, 4, 6. So everything is done evenly, like this first, with the middle 2, yeah? Then over here, to east, opposite that, pull that, pull that. Keep checking the bottom. You don't want to pull too much to one side, although inevitably you're not always going to get it perfect. Right, so I've done north, south, east and west. Also space out your lashing if it bunches up. I've done north, south, east and west, starting with the first 4 here. So now I'm going to start one along from the first 4 and do the other north, south, east and west, making 8. So start here. So if that was north to begin with, I've moved 1 to the right in my case to make a new north for the second 4. Pull that, actually, just then go opposite, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Where am I? Here's the knot. Oh, that was the one. Yeah, pull that, yeah. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Pull that. Pull 3 actually, 1, 2, 3. And then go to the opposite of that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And pull that. So that's north, south, east and west. That's 4 groups of lashing of 4 done. Then then move 1 along and do the next 4. So it's all symmetrical. Yeah. Let's get this drum in the picture. Right. So that's the first thing to do. Pull symmetrical just in the middle so you get tension up 8 ways round each group of 4. Then you start at the first knot here. I'm going to start at the first knot here, where it all began, and I'm just going to pull up gently, but with a little bit of firmness, like this, Right, and I'm going to do 1, 2, go into the second group of 4. Then just check over to the opposite a bit. That's okay. You have to check too that this is even around, not pulling one side, but that depends how the head was put on. Right, so I'm just going to go all the way around the drum, and I'm going to pull just all that slack up, but with a little firm tug at the end when I pull it. Right, all the way around. Pulling, space out the bottom here. It takes a bit of experience, but getting perfection. But as long as the lashing doesn't snap or break, you'll be okay. That's the worst thing, and it's happened many a time with me. Right, okay. Oh, getting old for this. Right, if you can see what I'm doing, I'm just pulling all the way around the drum now after the first initial north, south, east, west to balance it. Like I say, it's just take up the tension. Oh. Normally I would do this, sometimes leave it overnight and do it again if I want it higher. There's leather stretches. Right, so there you go. I've pulled that much round to that slack, round to the last knot here. This is a small drum, bigger ones it might be bigger. Also on tablas, the more the angle from the top to the bottom going out improves tension with the blocks. The more kind of straight down the side is, it makes it, you know, need more straps up to tune it. Right. Let me get this knot up. So there's the last knot there. It's the best way to do this. Oh, there's the last knot. I started on this knot. That was the first 4 of north, south, east and west. North to the opposite 4 to this east and west of those 4. Then I moved along and did the ones in the middle of those 4. And then I started on this first knot and took the tension up with a firm tug every time, but not as much as you think you're going to snap the lashing, because this is, you know, it's human gut. It's got strong. It's sometimes got little weak points. So there you go. I'm round to the last knot. So what I've got to do is undo this knot like this. Take the lashing out completely. Well, not completely, I can just like this, yeah, see? So there's the end of this lashing, quite long, had a fair bit spare. Right, then I'm going to pull that, pull it like this. There's the whole long ending. Haven't done the knot yet, just check the tuning. Down a bit because I know that to get these up, I know that sounds nice, but I might have to knock it down because it's important to get the drum even. just going to go to the, that's where I'd like to get it without any pegs in. But I can't hammer that up here, so I'm going to try and take up a little bit more tension. Yeah, just put the hammer in underneath. Pull that a little. Pull. And there you go, that's got that up. Right, just now go round the drum. Trying to get that same pitch, or more or less. It's a little, I don't like this little weak bit here. See, this back to the old feet. Oh. I'm still pulling here. Let's run to the last knot now. Pull that. I'm not going to be able to take up much more slack on this, or I feel it'll break, so I might as well do the knot now. So you pull this tight. It's down to you how to do it. I pull it tight and I stick my thumb here. So I pulled that, the last bit. So keep my thumb here to keep the tension on that. First actually, loop this through so for your knot. So you're going to go underneath here. Make sure it's all straight here, the lashing. Right, so that's going to be my knot. I'm going to go through here and make the knot. So here I've come there's the last bit here, comes out, I've pulled that and I've looped underneath it, see, here, and I'm going to make the knot. Right, so give this a pull here, take up the tension, put that through there. So put my thumb right here, make the knot. It's always going to be, this last knot position here is always going to be susceptible to a bit less tension. There it is. Right? So, beginning knot, end knot, tension pulled up. Tune again. When you're using this hammer on here, never be careless, ever. Never hit the side of the drum and nick the skin, or your head is going to go. If you're hitting this, don't even hit the lashing. Hit in between. Right, it's not bad. Somehow I get the feeling this drum isn't going to go too high in pitch because right, I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to start putting the pegs in now. So you start at the first knot, yeah, and go 4 along and take, in my case it's this, this is the first, this is the first piece running down to the first knot here, and it comes, loops over 8, and I'm going to put the first peg under this one, the second one in, that loops around making the 8. So for me, because the lashing goes this way round, I'm going to put it in second from the left, put the first peg, not the ones that come up and over, the one that comes under, and not the fourth one, the second one. That's the first peg, goes in there. Right, and while you're putting the pegs in, sometimes obviously you get places where, you know, the lashing's a bit thinner, closer because of the holes, so put your longer or short pegs in accordingly. Right, so I'm going to put this peg in, the first one. First peg's in. First peg's in the wrong place. Right, yeah, right. Okay. First peg's in, right, on this one here. This is the bit of lashing that goes down to the knot from here. So I've put it in this one. If your lashing goes from knot to knot that way, the other way, mine goes anti-clockwise. If it goes clockwise, then it would be different. It would be this one you put the first peg in. Hope that's not too complicated. But there you go. Now I've put the first peg in there, and I'm going to do exactly the same. North, south, east, west, and then north, south, east, west. Right, so go right round to the opposite. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Put your second peg in. Right. That's my second peg. Now I'll go north, the south is in. Now I'm going to go west here. 2, 4, 6. And then go east, that's 2, 4, 6, opposite. Keeping it even tuned as much as possible. So there you go. There's 4 pegs in, north, south, east and west. Now I'm going to do the 4 in between. I'll start back here where the knot ends. And where the knot ends, if you've got a thicker kind of block, I'll put it in there. Right, that's it. I'll go opposite. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Do the opposite. And then, obviously, there's 2 more to go, so the opposites. And then the opposites. That's the last peg going in. Right, so last peg's in. There's the drum. Okay, so one strap up on each there. If the second one goes up, would be this one, the one next to it. So it's the two middle ones first, with the one that loops over the top under, coming out under, being the first one, and then coming back over the top, being the second one to go up, in between the four. Oh. Okay, I ran out of tape there, I had to change the tapes over. Same when you're tuning up here, go north, south, east, west as much as you can. So that's, you'll only go so much hitting here. It's almost a D now. But I'm going to put it up more. So I'm going to put it up on 2. Actually, first I'll put it up on 2 on 4 of the pegs. So I'll start with the first peg where the knot is. That's it up on 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Go from north to south and do 2. Then go nip over here to west and do 2. And then back over to east or west or whatever it is and do 2, 2, 4, 6 here. Right. So there's 4 pegs in 1 piece of lashing and 4 and 2. I'll see how that sounds. This drum can go to here. Or right, I'm going to put the next 4 that weren't on 2 on 2, like this. Pull back the peg, pull it up, turn the peg like that, get it up. So to get it in easy, I'll show you. Take the peg, pull it back a bit here, turn it this way, and then just slip it up over, push it in. Right. I'm just going to tap down on the pegs a little, not all the way down, don't want them all the way down, just to take up what, say, about the middle of the drum there. D sharp, if I want this drum on E, I wouldn't push it anymore at the moment. I don't want to put it up on 3 because I'm back where I belong, even though I've got it from B flat up to E. I could get it up to E on 3, but I'm more likely to leave that overnight now and just take all the pegs out and take up the slack that putting the pegs in is put in, because putting the pegs in now will make more slack. Just not much, maybe just that much, but I would tomorrow take the pegs out, pull up the slack and put the pegs into here again, and I'll get this to E. So just remember, this is for fine tuning round here. You can't keep whacking it. If it won't go, it won't go. Good. Right, just going to put the thread back in. I like the thread, so very gentle now, very, very careful. So you just flick up a little bit of space here with a knife, tuck the thread in, right, and push the thread only about a middle in between the edge of the keynar and the edge here, the outer edge. Just, you can see the thread through the skin really, so, or the shape of it at least, so just about halfway in, and then just flip the thread in all the way around. Right, there's various ways of tucking this. Some people will just cut it because, but you can weave it. Some of my drums I weave it round the bottom here, in and out and in and out. One over, one under, one over, round, and get rid of it. But I can't be bothered today, so I'm just going to roll it into a little roll here, like this. Right. And find somewhere to tuck it in under a peg, just there like that, see? And drum's ready to go. Very small drums. I don't really like them much, to be honest. Let's see what it sounds like with Bayer. Used for very fasting time. Well, there you go. Not bad. It's in between D sharp and E. Like I said, to get it up on 3, or I would be more inclined to put it on, take the pegs out, leave this overnight, pull it again, and I'll definitely get it on E. If not on 1, then on a 1 with 4 on 2, or definitely on 2. Very small drum actually, about 4 3/4 inches.